Alright. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm going to have a beer on stage for a sec. Drink a swilling of beer. So, anyway, outside right now, we're getting close to sunset, so I figured I'd read a poem for that. This is called Radiance. The glow of the sun's ray upon our visage of steel, concrete and marble surrounding us. Vicarious, we can feel flowing through the sky, beads of strange, unbending light, guided by the Earth's movement towards the star of our birth, feeding us, and the flora fluctuating as our portion of Earth turns on itself to the next moment, the next life in the glow of the light reflected off the moon, radiating through our minds and bodies, improving outlooks and heart's contentment. It shines through stained and tinted glass, through houses of worship, be they madrasas, synagogues, temples, churches, cathedrals, or the museums and houses of idols, long past days of worship. Shining through our very eyes, skin, nostrils, organs, keeps our minds floating in the air, able to solve the vexations of our coming calamities. Radiance flies into the face of our present as we mind our future step. Anyway, my name's Daniel. I don't think I ever introduced myself. I'm tired. Yeah. So anyway, I'd like to introduce this act as, well, this is the way I'll introduce them. The first night I saw them play, I told them straight to their face, you guys look like you belong in a Wes Anderson movie. And it kind of is true. They're very quirky. They're quirky and awesome, and they're like one of the most unique acts you'll see probably all night. As you can see, they have props and xylophones, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, yeah, they're also from Argentina, so they also complement sort of a slight international theme of the evening. So, anyway. Hope you guys enjoy a flying Dodo aside. Hope you guys enjoy a flying Dodo aside. Bye.
Hello, humans.
Hey.
Alright, so tonight, first of all, welcome to Flying Dodo Society. Welcome to our magical world, and we're going to be telling you guys a story. Instead of just doing songs, we decided to tell you guys a story. Now, this is a story of a guy called Walter and a girl called Wendy. And they met in Coney Island on the Wonder Wheel. It's a really long story. I'm not going to tell you about how they met, but from the moment they saw each other, everything was perfect. Everything worked. And in fact, everything worked so well that people who fixed things, they lost their jobs. I mean, I'm talking about people who fixed air conditioners, people who put out fires, doctors. Everything was so perfect that everybody that fixed things that are wrong, they lost their jobs. It was horrible. But you think Walter and Wendy cared? No, they didn't give a fuck. And this is what Walter sang to Wendy. Ever since I met you, there's been problems with the world outside our window. All the subways run on time. At 12 o'clock the churches shine. It seems that everything, yes, everything works. What's the fire meant to do with no fire?
What's the plumber meant to do with no plumbers?
And the admiral was nothing to admire except the tips of his thumbs. Dodo walks and he just locks the door.
And we're closing on the hardware store.
Cause nobody's ever needed glue ever since I met you. Since I met you. Oh, everything works. You never believe it. All the animals give dessert. Everything works. We're out of cash, we're leaving now. We're high above the ceiling now. And the jeweler and the cobbler too, they just hop into their hands. So what's the ghost going to do with no guns? Or what's the ghost going to do with no smith? And Mr. Fix-It, what's he going to fix? Oh my, he looks so down. I think he'd like to die. the one who wants the world to slide. 'Cause everything works just fine. Yes, everything works just fine. Yes, everything works just fine. Yes, everything works.
That was fun.
Now, thank you. Now, while all that happiness was happening in Walter and Wendy's apartment, next door, their neighbor, Mr. Fix-It, he was having a terrible day. He was really depressed. His wife just left him for another guy because he lost his job. Mr. Fix-It lost his job because everything worked. And it was terrible. He was like sobbing on the floor, throwing teacups at the wall. The teacups would just bounce off. He tried to clog his sink. Didn't work. He put pencils in the sink, cotton. He even got to a crocodile. The crocodile went right through the sink. He couldn't clog shit. And then he said, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna go take a walk. I need to walk on the street. I need to see people. I need to see happy faces. Went down the stairs, out of the building. Finally left the house today. Left the TV on so the commercials can have fun and maybe ricochet around the house, knock down the glasses, eat the plates. For all I care, they can be happy, live together, make mistakes, be close when they're away, be glad that they're awake and find each other in my bed. And say the things they've heard I've said so many times to myself. Corner came this afternoon. As he sat on the slide, he said that we should hide our lives out so true. He said it might have to cloud or two and make the sky feel blue. Set the bumper sticker in our car as we escaped from one last bar. She knew me well. He's talking about his wife now. He's sad. Oh, but I escaped from Alcatraz. Stuck a ballpoint pen around his neck. I laughed out loud. Hell, what the heck? She knew me well. I just did not know we'd be happy little together, make mistakes, be close when we're away, be glad when we're awake, 'cause when we sleep, we're alone. 'Cause when we sleep, we're alone. 'Cause when we sleep, we're alone. And he was on the street, he got really mad, thinking about life, and he began throwing bricks at buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce off. Mr. Fix-It was getting really, really tired. He was trying to break stuff, he couldn't break anything. He was just tired of living. And he collapsed on the floor. And he began to dream a really weird dream. Where were we? Why was Wendy whispering? What was winking? Werewolves? Why weren't we warned? Were werewolves worshipping waffles? Why would werewolves worship waffles? Where were we? Were we welcome? Where was Walter? Walter! Walter was wearing wooden whiskers. Were we wet? Were we wiping windows? Why were we wiping windows? Whales whistling well. Why were we witnessing whales whistling well while wiping windows? What wacky world were we wandering where werewolves worship waffles, where walruses wear waterproof wigs, where wrestling warthogs, while few wallabies were wasps without wings, Walt Woosley whenever waitresses whip watermelons. Wait! What was winking? Witches. Which witches? Witty witches? Which witty witches? Whichever witty witches we wish. Well, wonderful! We want warm-hearted witches who won't waste watercolors. We want water-skiing witches who won't wax wombats. We want, what? Wasting wishes. We were wasting wishes? Well, whatever. Wait! What were we witnessing? Why weren't walnuts wearing willowy waistcoats? Why weren't walruses wearing waterproof wigs? Why weren't werewolves worshipping waffles? Were we awakening? Were we weakening? Were we waking? Where were we? And with that, Mr. Fix-It woke up and he was like, what was that all about? And he woke up on the street and he said, Walter, Wendy, those are my next door neighbors. And then it hit him. He said, those are the culprits for this horrible tragedy that we're all going through. In case you got here late, everything's working. Everything's working. So he lost his job because he's Mr. Fix-It, and he gets really mad. He said, I'm going to fucking cut those guys up. I'm going to cut them into little pieces, and I'm going to send every piece to every corner of the world. And then he started running to their apartment. He started banging on the door, but Walter and Wendy, at that moment, they couldn't hear him because they were really, really concentrated, thinking up excuses not to go to work. And this is the song that they were singing. In bed, rest your head, Wendy. Of course I will talk. I'll call your job. Oh dear God, what's happened to my spouse? No, I don't know if she'll live. I don't know. So let's take off these silly cloths. Today, but I'll say, have you heard me?
No, you haven't heard me.
This town's a puzzle.
Please untie my hand.
The taxis say hi as we watch from the sky. Send them off to their steady jobs. So my boss, I'm not ready, comp, I don't know. If she'll live. Oh no. If she'll live. And the city life has ended. It's just a part of life today. But I'll say, have you heard me?
No, you haven't heard me.
So Mr. Fix-It was banging on the door. Mr. Fix-It was banging on the door. He's like, oh, I'm gonna break this door down. But he couldn't break it. No matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't break the door, because of course everything worked. And then he decided to just run through it. He said, hey, that's a good idea, I'll just run through it. And he took a couple of steps back, and he began running as fast as he could, and he went right through the door. He saw Walter and Wendy there. They were in their underwear. It was really uncomfortable. And he began to sob. He just couldn't deal with life anymore. And Walter said, hey man, why don't you go to Coney Island? That's what I do when I'm feeling sad. And he said, that's a great idea, but I don't have any money. And Walter said, well, here, take 20 bucks, get out of my apartment, please. And and then you'll have a great time in Coney Island. Believe me, you might meet the person of your life, you might find a new job, who knows what could happen. And he said, well, that's great, but how do I get to Coney Island? And he said, it's very simple. You've never been there? No, I've never been there. Okay, all you have to do is this. Take the cue until bells welcome you on Stillwell Avenue. Shake your shoes. Then fly down the stairs and out to where the air is sweet and blue. Everyone's greeting you, 'cause you're in Coney Island. Everyone's favorite place to smile in. Look at all the silly little people running from the city to the steeple. In the week they look so sad and rotten, but here they eat fried Oreos and all is magically forgotten. Boys and girls are playing in the ocean. The older boys and girls are playing with the lotion. Lifeguards at the snack bar eating brownies. These never look so slappy happy. I just hope no one is drowning. Coney Island, everyone's favorite place to smile, and I am falling in love with Coney Island. Parachutes make girls shriek, but if you shoot the freak, they don't mind if you left him blind. So take her hand, follow her to the sword swallower. It's a sign, so give the guy a dime. Let's go watch the seagulls on the seashore and jump over the drunk and see how he snores. In his breath I smell a childhood trauma. He's 45, it's 1 p.m. and he's still wearing his pajamas. Coney Island, everyone's favorite place to smile, and I am falling in love with Coney Island. So Mr. Fix-It, just take the cue until bells welcome you on Stillwell Avenue. Shake your shoes. Yeah! And just like you guys, Mr. Fix-It was just in awe. He said, wow, Walter, that song was incredible. I didn't know you played the kalimba. That's so great, Walter. Wow, I'm so proud to be your neighbor. You're so talented. Wow, top 10 songs ever, and definitely best song about Coney Island I've ever heard. And he said, I'm gonna get out of your hair. You guys keep on finding excuses not to go to work, and I'm gonna go to Coney Island. So he went. He started leaving, and he was going downstairs, and he went on the train.
This is your jam. Yeah, man.
And he got to Coney Island. Thank you. He got to Coney Island, and just like anybody else, he was mesmerized by how beautiful everything was. The kids, the cotton candy, the bump your ass off ride, the Applebee's, the Puerto Ricans on the pier fishing for crabs with big pieces of chicken, all those things. He thought it was wonderful, just like you guys. And he saw this really long line, and he said, well, there must be something happening there. So he went down the line. When he finally got to where everybody was waiting for, there was a guy eating like ridiculous amounts of funnel cakes. And he was just like stuffing them into his face and singing at the same time. And this is the song he was singing. He's called Funnel Freak Freddy. I stopped eating funnel cakes at 10 p.m. When quarter after came around, I started again. The cakes they make at Dino's Sweet Shop taste so great they make your teeth drop. Every time I finish, I begin again. Believe me when I say I've tried every funnel cake from Fairbanks to Dubai. But when I finally had a cake in Coney, I just knew my heart never pounded like it did when I found it. It's true. They come from all over to see what I do. They call me Funnel Cake Freddy. Get in line, get ready if you wanna take a peek of Freddy. That's right, they call me Funnel Freak Freddy. Have your shiny bucks ready? Take a peek of Funnel Freaky Freddy. Ow, ow, ow. Sugar and fried dough. Who needs strippers or casinos? I eat every day at Dino's. If you don't believe me, watch me go. That's right, they call me Funnel Cake Freddy. Get in line, get ready if you wanna take a peek of Freddy. That's right, they call me Funnel Freak Freddy. Have your shiny bucks ready? Take a peek of Funnel Freaky Freddy. Oh yeah, they call me Funnel Freak Freddy. Have your shiny bucks ready? Take a peek of Funnel Freaky Freddy. That's right, they call me Funnel Cake Freddy. Have your shiny bucks ready? Take a peek of Funnel Freaky Freddy. Funnel Cake Freddy, that's me. And Mr. Fix-It was just mesmerized by seeing somebody doing what he loved. And he ate a bite of a funnel cake, and the powdered sugar got him into a shock, and he had this really, really weird, psychedelic, intense flashback. And he remembered that when he was a kid, he had actually seen a lion tamer, and he had said, that is exactly what I want to be. And even more impressive than that, he had forgotten, it was that the lion was talking to him. And this is what the lion was saying. Why be human when you could be blooming with life? The lion didn't have a guitar, so he didn't have these kind of problems. It was a cappella, but we thought it would sound better with these chords. Why be human when you could be blooming with life? Why do you lay little bricks you can trip in the midst of the night? Why do you spend such long hours scribbling? Why don't you open the curtains and sing? Why be thirsty when you could be bursting with life? Stick a fork in the arm of the crocodile walking the night. Why do you spend such long hours scribbling? Why would you talk yourself out of a fight? Why be human when you could be blooming with fire? Why be something when you could be jumping the breeze? Stick a fork in the arm of the crocodile walking on the trees. Why do you walk so close to the buildings? Why would you talk yourself out of a fight? Why speak human when you can speak fluent? Why speak human when you can speak fluent? Why speak human when you can speak fluent? Mr. Fix-It began to wake up from his weird flashback, and he said, wow, I've completely forgotten that. I've completely forgotten when I went to Coney Island and that I wanted to be a lion tamer, and he decided to follow his dream, and he became a lion tamer, and to this day, he's a very, very famous lion tamer. Now he calls himself Mr. Fix-It the Lion Tamer, and he made his living in Coney Island. He finally met his second wife. They're very happy. They live in Trump Village, which is not a village filled with little Donald Trumps. It's actually a couple of buildings in Coney Island called that. And he lives there, and on Fridays with his wife, he sips wine, listens to jazz, and they live with their lion. And when the fireworks get his lion really, really tense. That's Mr. Fix-It the Lion Tamer right there, as you can see. If you guys want later, you can take a picture as Mr. Fix-It the Lion Tamer. And he sings this song for his lion just to calm him down. My cat takes pills for the firework thrills, and he sleeps all through the night until little white mice start to carol on the windowsill. He sings along, then he kills. My girl takes pills in the bathroom and fills up her little empty heart with white daffodils. They say she ain't happy, but we know what happiness means. We disembowel the machine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our story. Mr. Fix-It and his second wife and his lion, they lived happily ever after in Trump Village in Coney Island. But what happened to Walter and Wendy? We can't finish the story without telling you guys what happened to Walter and Wendy. Well, Walter and Wendy, one day they woke up and they said, what happened to Mr. Fix-It? So they remember they saw it. He went to Coney Island. He said he was going to come back and tell them all about it. He never came back. So they went there. They searched for him and they found him. And Mr. Fix-It looked like a different person. He was glowing. It was like he was pregnant. He was just beautiful. And they were like, wow, Mr. Fix-It, you're glowing, you're beautiful. Exactly what I said. And he was like, yeah, well, you know, I followed my dream. I became a lion tamer. I have my second wife, and I'm really happy. And they said, well, is there anything wrong with you? Because everything looks perfect. Everything seems to work. And he said, well, there is one thing wrong. He looked at his wife, and he said, ever since I met her, there's been problems. Everyone's outside our window. They're just waiting for a sign that our love will soon stop shining. 'Cause ever since I met her, everything, and I mean everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, everything works. You better believe it. All the animals give dessert. 'Cause everything works. Rabbit naturally they find the one and watch the world resign. 'Cause everything works this time. Yes, everything works is fine. Yes, everything works is fine. Yes, everything works. Sidewalk Café for inviting us to this wonderful festival, our second time here. You've been beautiful. We're big fans of everybody else that's going to play after us, so please stick around. One more. Do we have time for one more?
Unfortunately, we do not have time for one more.
We
have about 7 more acts this evening, but please stick around. We got a lot more music. Give it up for the Flying Dodo to Society, everybody.
So just so you know, we've got CDs here and books and everything, so just talk to us. Please talk to us. We've got cards. You're beautiful people. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, give it up for Flying Dodo Society one more time. They were great. Stick around. We have Sam Barron coming up in just a few minutes.